Hi, this is Jenny Brav of Radiant Wholeness Healing, and today we're going to be exploring the fear of the unknown, of change, of uncertainty, what arises around those situations for you. And this is often coupled with a history of trauma, either our own or our family's trauma, ancestral trauma, because change feels really difficult when we've had experiences of unpredictability, of not being able to trust that there is stable ground, especially when we're young. And that can lead to patterns of needing to be in control and charge, of managing everything externally, and also of hypervigilance. And again, this can be our own patterns, but it can also be inherited patterns if there's family or ancestral trauma. And so in these cases, we've learned that we can't just trust the universe, trust that everything is going to be okay. And so we've learned to try to scan the outside world. And as soon as something changes, if our focus of attention for safety is out here, as soon as something out here changes a little bit, we end up feeling unstable, not knowing where our center is, and we're needing to manage things externally to then feel a little bit more stable inside. And one of the things we'll be exploring is ways of getting that sense of stability internally. So rotating from the focus at being out there to being here. And sometimes just doing that with your hands can change things. And just turning inward. And then we can come back to our own sense of stability, grounding, so that even if things are changing and spinning, we can find that center of the wheel, that place that doesn't move inside of us. So when you're ready, I invite you to close your eyes if that's comfortable. Take a breath. And just notice internally what happens when there's change, unknowns, uncertainty. Do you leave your body? Do certain places get agitated, jittery? What happens to your breath? What beliefs are here? And also just noticing what charge is there. How triggering does this feel? Does it feel very triggering, moderately, somewhat? And feel free to give it a rating from 0 to 10, 10 being the most activating. And at the end, you can just check back in with yourself, see if anything shifted. Beautiful. So when you're ready, eyes open or closed, whatever feels good, tapping on the side of your hand. And repeating after me in your head or out loud. Even though there's a lot of uncertainty right now. And it is triggering all of my stuff. And part of me is terrified and freaking out. And part of me is trying to manage and control everything. And part of me is feeling really overwhelmed and just wants to hide. I love and accept myself, or at least I'm open to it, deeply and completely. Deep breath. Tapping on the head. So much uncertainty. Inside of the eyebrows. Outside of the eyes. So much uncertainty. Under the eyes. Ah! Under and above the lips. Part of me is freaking out. Under the collarbone, freaking out. Middle of the sternum. Hi, part of me that's freaking out. Ribs. I see you. I feel you. Side of the body. I know you're scared. Inside and outside of the wrist. It's okay to be scared. Other wrist. I know you hate change. Head. I know it reminds you of all the times that. And maybe here you can add in what might have happened to you or to your ancestors that would make you fear change. I am so sorry. Outside of the eyes. That you learned a long time ago. Outside of the eyes, that change is scary and dangerous. Under and above the lips. That you couldn't trust anything external. Under the collarbone, you could only trust yourself. Middle of the sternum. It was so smart of you. Ribs. To develop this strategy. Side of the body. Or absorb it from others if it was modeled for you. Wrist. Of hypervigilance. Other wrist. Of control. Head. Of trying to manage and predict the external world. Inside of the eyebrows, that's exactly what you needed to do at the time. Outside of the eyes, to feel safe. Under the eyes, breathe. Under and above the lips. And we can hang on to this as long as we want to. Collarbone, as long as we need to. Middle of the sternum, to feel safe. Ribs. And it's possible we have other resources and choices now. Side of the body. It is possible that hanging on to the external world, wrist, needing to manage and control it to feel safe. Other wrist makes us feel less safe, in fact. Head, because we have no control over the external world most of the time. Inside of the eyebrows. So it's possible we can come back to ourselves outside of the eyes. To the part of us that knows that we're okay. Under the eyes, breathe. And under the lips that we're going to be okay. Under the collarbone. It's possible that when I'm in the moment, middle of the sternum, allowing things to be as they are. Ribs, there's no such thing as change. Side of the body, everything is change. Inside of the wrist. There's just life flowing from one moment to the next. Other wrist. And if that doesn't feel true to me, that's okay. Tapping on the head. It's possible I can trust. Inside of the eyebrows. Maybe I can find the ground inside of myself. Outside of the eyes. And then the uncertainty won't feel nearly as destabilizing. Under the eyes, breathe. Stop tapping. Taking nice slow breaths to whatever extent feels accessible. Start feeling into your body. Just asking yourself if there was a place inside of me that feels stable, is my anchor point. Where would that be? And just notice if any place lights up, feels good, feels a little relaxed or centered. And if not, that's totally fine. This is just an exploration. You can also rock your hips side to side and just feel your pelvis connected to the chair. That can be an anchor point, or maybe feeling your spine, your belly, your heart. And taking another breath. When you're ready, opening your eyes if they were closed, tapping all over your body. Shaking it out, touching someplace that feels grounding. And just noticing how you feel compared to the beginning. Has the fear around change, uncertainty decreased a little? If not, that's fine. And if this was helpful, feel free to hit like, press the subscribe button, turn on notifications. Thank you so much.